Hello and welcome to another episode of Hard Hats, Hard Heads, Hard Times. Beautiful blue skies here in Wisconsin. The sun is shining. You might have a little bit of an idea of what we might be attempting to do here today, but
It's almost Father's Day.
Bill, what do we got? What do we got for the fine folks at home today?
Well, I think what we're going to do here, I don't know about you, but I have always been a big fan of internet cooking and just cooking shows of all kinds, whether they're on the internet or not. And so as we looked at the schedule and we looked at what was coming up, I know in the last episode we promised a field trip in episode 3. That's coming. But we pivoted a little bit. Father's Day is coming up, and we're focusing on if you were in either the Waldschmidt or Elverman households, what might you grill?
Junior or senior.
Junior or senior. What might you grill on Father's Day? Nathaniel and I are both going to highlight a couple of super easy, excellent dishes that as you are planning your Father's Day activities, that you can use these recipes. In fact, one of them I stole from another internet cooking show. And we encourage you to follow along, and we're going to have fun and a couple beers to a tree while we're doing this. And
I didn't know stealing recipes was part of the rules. Mine are just right from the old cranium.
it's not part of the rules. But
okay.
I'm going to give credit. I'm not going to say this is a Bill Elverman thing. It's,
Well, I'm going to go ahead and be so bold.
All right. So I think the first thing we're going to do, and
Well, if we're cooking, the first thing we're going to do
attaboy,
is
I left mine at home.
get the proper attire.
Although it does look like we match.
Between
Between my
really,
shirt, this beer can, and your apron.
This really brings out the blue in my eyes too.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I might have borrowed it.
That's not your personal.
It isn't. It's a slim fit, luckily though, so it'll fit me.
You realize now that you've put it on, the rule is you have to keep it on for the entirety of the show.
That's the intention. Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
So the first thing we're going to do, and this seems so we're going to treat this as if this is a cooking show. We're going to take you step by step through our process.
Do we want to say what we're each and I are cooking first?
Yeah, we could do that.
So what do you got on the menu for us, Bill?
Today we're going to do a grilled beef tenderloin and then grilled chicken. I wouldn't call it barbecue chicken. It's a unique and weird recipe that one of my favorite Instagram cooking accounts, when they did this recipe, I'm like, there's no way that's going to work. And it was mind-blowing. And so we're going to show you how to do that too. And so yeah, beef tenderloin and grilled chicken. How about you?
Well, what broke the internet last Thanksgiving, I feel like, was the idea of spatchcocking turkeys. I've been a diehard. I've always been about deep frying that turkey. Get out in the backyard, a couple beers, you got some hot burning oil. What could be better?
I'm a spatchcocker since way back.
Okay, well, I joined the bandwagon. Best bird I've ever had on a Thanksgiving. So what I'm going to do is attempt it with a chicken today on a grill.
Oh.
So we'll see how that. Again, that's the beauty of this show. There's no editing whether this sucks
I was wondering.
or not.
I could smell the pickle juice. I saw a whole bird there. I was wondering what was going to happen.
Brined it overnight, 24 hours. So we're going to do that. And then, of course, if we're talking Father's Day, not every dad is a white meat eater. They're red-blooded. They like their red meat. We're going to just do some good old-fashioned burgers as well.
Can't go wrong with that.
You can't. And of course, a couple sides. We got some potatoes. We're going to throw right on those charcoals, and then a little bit of a Chinese noodle salad.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I've got a grilled vegetable side dish that we're going to do because you got to have some greens, but they're going to be grilled and they're going to be awesome. And then I've got what would typically be out on the table as appetizers, a couple fun flavor combinations we're going to do there. So you might be wondering at this point, I thought you guys were doing a construction show, construction podcast, and this is where I'll remind you that we said from very early on.
Day one.
This was going to be construction adjacent. So we're in the industry. We know that our brothers and sisters throughout the whole industry love grilling, certainly love getting together for holidays such as Father's Day, and this is more about building community and sharing some things with you folks that you might be able to use at your home get-togethers, whether it's Father's Day, Memorial Day, Mother's Day, whatever you want to use it for.
And quite frankly, as the host, we can kind of pick whatever we want to do. And I'll be honest, this is kind of a dream come true for me today.
Yeah.
Whether there's 5 people, growing up watching your PBS cooking stations, like you mentioned, a bunch of shows on the internet. This is going to be a hot dumpster fire on this side of the table, but doesn't matter.
Have you
This is
seen
for
the
me.
Have you seen the side by side? Gordon Ramsay, he does a thing. It's on TikTok or Instagram where he will watch other people cooking on the internet and he'll comment on it as they go. The dream would be Gordon Ramsay talking shit about what I'm about to do. At that point, I hang it up. And
Yeah,
we'll get it.
I've accomplished everything at that point.
All right.
Should we get these grills fired up?
We got to light them up, and that's we could have saved time and had this going, but for me, this has been a critical step in that I haven't used lighter fluid. If you're still using lighter fluid, and I walked through the store today, and I know there's a lot of you because I saw shelves and shelves of lighter fluid. If you're using lighter fluid, stop. You won't notice it until you make the change.
Do you have a gas grill at home?
No, I do everything charcoal.
Everything's charcoal? Okay, so-
charcoal. But lighter fluid, it does add, and again, you don't notice it until you stop using it. It adds a hint of flavor to meat that it's lighter fluid. It's fuel.
It's distinct.
It's a distinct thing, and it adds to the flavor. Once you start cooking without lighter fluid, everything tastes better. And so we're going to show you a basic chimney setup today. No lighter fluid, all paper fueled.
But that being said, I think where our difference is I agree with the flavor profile of lighter fluid versus non. But also not a purist when it comes to it's got to be on charcoal. I've got a natural gas
grills
grill
are
at home.
fine. Yeah,
it's
gas
easy
grills
to
are
fire
fine.
up, and life is good. But
That doesn't add. There's not a taste added with a gas
correct.
grill that I noticed.
well, and
lighter
of course
fluid,
all the latest craze, of course, is the flat tops of the
Of
world.
course.
The smash burgers, this and that, which of course that's by definition indirect.
absolutely.
You're going. All right.
We're gonna go ahead and start lighting these bastards.
Local paper. You're gonna crunch a little bit of that stuff up. I even recycle my charcoal bag. Stuff that in there. See if I can get this thing lit.
So you can tell by the style of my bag.
I can tell by your bag. You're
can-
right.
You can tell by my bag that you can use just the paper from the bag itself to light the chimney. And early on, I was skeptical. I've been using lighter fluid for years. These chimneys are kind of hokey. Do I really need to use this? These work.
You were holding on to your lighter fluid, weren't you?
I was, and it was a mistake.
And what do you use to light? So I go good. All right. So yeah. So
This is compensation.
you're not doing it the real way.
This is compensation.
If you're not burning your fingers while trying to light that thing because that Bic lighter is so hot,
work smarter, not harder, Nathaniel.
it's never been my MO.
All right, so I think we're ready to kind of show people what we're doing and how we're prepping it.
Yeah.
I'll start out with my tenderloin. This is one my dad taught me years ago. To call this stupid simple is an understatement, but it's one that when people have, they're sure that like you did a bunch of fancy stuff to it, and it's meat and one ingredient. And I'll show you here real quick. The important thing right off the bat, you've got to decide. I don't know how you do it.
This is beef tenderloin.
This is a beef tenderloin. You've got to decide what your raw meat hand is going to be and what your clean hand is going to be. And sometimes
that is a culinary.
Sometimes it gets a little tricky, and then you
Trade
got to go
secret.
wash your hands. But because I'm right-handed, so I can drink my beer with my right hand. I can work the different ingredients with my right hand. I am a left-hand raw meat guy. And so the prep for this beef tenderloin, stop it. The prep for this beef tenderloin is stupid simple. And I'm gonna break my rule here and use my left hand. I haven't really handled the meat yet. We're gonna prep a bag, and it's as simple as this. Beef tenderloin, which is one of the...
And this is something you don't need to do prior? Like you
No,
can do
no,
this
this
as
is
you're fired?
No, this is overnight.
This is overnight.
So,
Okay.
and you'll see here the magic of TV here. I prepped a couple last night, so we're good to go. Beef tenderloin in the old bag, in the bag. And then there's one ingredient, one simple ingredient that you marinate this in overnight.
Mayonnaise.
And it doesn't have to be fancy. This ain't no Grey Poupon, all right? You can go with any Dijon mustard, that you can get on your store shelf. And I'm going to throw this bottle out so I can use the left hand even after it's touched raw meat here. And you're going to use the whole bottle. You're going to take the Dijon mustard, and you're just going to, this is the entirety of the prep. You drop the Dijon mustard in there.
You lather it around, or
you do.
Yeah.
No,
or you close
you
it
let
up
it sit there like a weirdo.
Well,
and
hey, you're already much more legit and professional than I intend to be.
So you seal the bag. You seal the bag. Get all the air out of there. You don't want air and things. Seal the bag. And to your point, Nathaniel lathered around so that there is Dijon mustard.
Oh, baby.
Covering every square inch.
I'm glad I haven't eaten yet today, so like the culmination of whatever this ends up all being, that we actually get to enjoy.
So as you see, you just marinated in Dijon mustard in the fridge. That's an important part of the deal. In the fridge overnight, and it'll be ready for the grill tomorrow. I have one prepped here that we'll throw on in a second. My second dish, equally deceptive in its simplicity, is a barbecue chicken, but using, there's no barbecue sauce. It's not a traditional barbecue chicken. And for this, I got to give credit to, there's one of my favorite Instagram food channels is Tony and Maribel. They're a married couple out of the Los Angeles area. And they do a mix of weird and interesting things and more traditional grilled Mexican dishes. And I saw this on their channel one day, and I'm like, there's no way that's going to work. It doesn't make any sense at all. And when you see what I'm about to do here, you might feel the same. So similarly...
Why, that could go for a lot of things I watch you do in life.
It is true. It is true. Similarly, large freezer bag. You want this to marinate overnight as well.
Okay. So you have this pre-made too. We're just going through the motions.
I do. We're going through the motions
to
show you how to do it. Just to show you I'm not full of it. Here are the versions that have been sitting overnight. But so you start with the large bag, and you go with a fairly simple cut that everyone loves. Everyone loves chicken legs. And
do we need to bring that garbage can closer for you?
well, I think we're all right.
Okay.
Got the bag open, drop the old chicken legs in the bag. This has 3 ingredients.
Oh,
and when I tell you the ingredients,
above my league.
When I tell you the ingredients, it's not going to make like a whole lot of sense. You're going to wonder, why does that work? And this is where, again, we're going to throw this out. So when you throw something out, you can touch it with the raw meat hand. But we're going to take mayonnaise, regular old mayonnaise.
I see the vinegar in that is what the active ingredient.
What
right?
I found out, because I was curious when I first saw this recipe, what the mayonnaise does is it actually, its primary thing, of course there's a flavor element, but it helps the chicken retain moisture. There's a moisture retention element.
Okay, so probably similar like what you would put, like mine, I have buttermilk is going to be the overnight secret of mine. So it's doing that.
Probably a similar deal.
Okay.
The second ingredient, and this is where I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Hoisin sauce.
What?
Hoisin sauce, like Asian. It's
like
a
soy
salty.
sauce,
It's thicker, it's saltier, and maybe even a little sweeter than soy sauce.
Okay.
So whereas soy sauce, the primary element is the salt.
Yeah.
This has a sweetness to it, but a similar flavor profile, and it accomplishes some of the same things. So it's 1 part mayo.
And that's the official way to open that.
1 part mayo, 1 part. That was the bottle.
Excuse you. Yeah,
that
right.
was the bottle.
Yeah, right.
Holy cow! This is great. Oh,
How old are you?
We're having a good time. So 1 part mayo, 1 part hoisin, and then the third ingredient, and this is where, so Tony and Maribel, and if you guys happen to ever see this, thank you. You've helped me on so many different cooks. They had a sponsorship with like one of the companies that makes seasoning, so I couldn't just go to the store and get the seasoning that they use. So this is the one slight modification. I found a kickin chicken seasoning. So it's 1 part mayo, 1 part hoisin sauce, and then 1 part a healthy dose of kickin chicken seasoning.
Okay.
And then just
So what's the main? I mean, is it all just secret ingredients, or what?
Well, that's a store-bought kickin chicken, so it's there's a little bit of heat to it. There's a little bit of saltiness. There's a little bit of savoriness.
Onion, salt, garlic.
A
all
lot of the usual stuff. A little bit of pepper in there, and then just like with a tenderloin, you coat coat each of the chicken legs entirely with a mixture of mayo and hoisin and kickin chicken seasoning, and you get a wonderful thing. So both of these now we would take and put in the fridge overnight, and you can do it before you go to bed. It doesn't have to be 24 hours. And then these are ready to go tomorrow. You get your coals lit. You get your indirect fire setup, which we'll show you how to do here in a minute. But mine are good to go.
Very nice.
What do you got going on?
So let's start with the spatchcock chicken.
Okay.
I'm not going to go through the motions of all the 24-hour prep, but mine as well. In a Ziploc bag, similar, pickle juice and buttermilk.
Okay.
So it's for the exact
Mayo, the moisture retention.
Maybe makes me wonder if maybe mayonnaise might be something that we could experiment with here. Yeah. But so that's what we did here overnight. So that's what we're working with currently. But now we need to spatchcock it.
Spatchcock is one I'm a.
And are you serious? You've been doing this for a long time?
I've spatchcocked before. Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Yeah. All right. Hey, all right.
But no, as a writer, I always love the words that aren't dirty but sound like they should be dirty.
Yep.
It sounds like spatchcock should be one of the few things
falls
you
on that
can't say
list
on television. And sometimes people that don't know what it is, they look at you when you say that I just spatchcocked the hell out of that thing. They think you're talking about something dirty.
Well, you're about to watch me spatchcock the hell out of this.
Let's see how you spatchcock a.
Miles, we got the first aid kit, so we're ready to go. If I cut myself, does this still make me look thin?
Does not make you look thin.
Spatchcocking. It's really simple. All we're doing, we're taking the backbone out of the bird. So we're going to flip it over. Now, what I typically do, I say typically, I've done this once, and it was a turkey. What I typically do is we'll start from the tailbone. Okay, so you're going to want to get yourself a nice pair of poultry scissors.
Both hands are raw. You are deep in that.
Oh yeah, no,
at this point.
it doesn't matter. Like we're going for the end result. So we're going to start from the butt, and we're going to cut our way up. Gizzard's already out of this bad boy. We're just going to follow that backbone all the way up.
Tell us why folks at home should become spatchcockers.
The reason you're going to want to get yourself into the black belt art of what is known as spatchcocking, it gives you the crispiness of that skin while still cooking the meat through, while still keeping it moist, and actually it brings the cooking time down overall as you're bringing all the meat and cooking it in a more even fashion.
Cooking it in even fashion, and if you're a seasoning person like we are, you get a greater per square inch coverage of seasoning because you're gonna spread this thing out.
Do you want a snack while we're grilling?
Yeah, no, I love botulism. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. So normally you could use this, make a nice chicken stock, but today, and given our setup here, we're just gonna put that in the garbage. Now, here's where the fun begins. And we still haven't gotten to the seasoning portion yet either.
Hold on.
Open that beer.
Let's do it. All right.
So now what we're going to do with that bird, if I recall correctly, and again, because
this is where he said in episode 1, this is not our day jobs. Right?
But it could be, and that's what we're working towards. This is kind of like
a
on-camera interview. Really, is the way I look at it.
I want to see this.
And now what you want to do is break those breastbones.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, son of a...
I heard a crack.
No, there it is.
There you go.
Okay, so our bird.
Did you buy that bird dinner first?
Before I spatchcocked it?
Yeah.
I did not. I'm kind of cheap that way.
You manhandled that.
Yeah, so we're spatchcocked. Now we need to season. And again, I'm going all cowboy. Left hand, right hand, all hands.
We will wash our hands here momentarily.
Well, of course.
Promise you.
But
we're not animals.
Here's the beauty of it.
We're animals.
Here's the beauty of it. We're going to douse this bad boy in vegetable oil.
All right.
We're gonna get all the cracks and crevices. And a whole bunch of Lowry's. If I can open it up. Oh, look at that.
Attaboy.
You wanna
No, this is where the
Okay.
bleach wipes will come in handy later. We're gonna wipe
Oh,
everything
yeah.
down a little bit.
And this is where you can't season it enough.
Right.
You,
Yep.
this Lowry's is like,
You know what I have
this
found?
is America's seasoning.
I have found, it is America's seasoning, but it's not. I have found
Well, since
that
the internet.
Lowry's is, we're in the Midwest, we're shooting this in Wisconsin. Very well known, very used widely here. I lived in California for 6 years, and I remember I brought up, we were having a cooking discussion, I brought up Lowry's, and
No one's heard of it.
what is that?
Really?
I
Yeah,
said, oh,
okay.
it's a pre-made seasoned salt. And it was like I was speaking French, and I found it at the store. They have it. It's just not as widely used here. I think in the
Interesting.
Midwest we like our savory, salty,
Yep.
flavors added to things, and Lowry's certainly accomplishes that.
That, my friends, is a spatchcocked chicken.
You've got a
that we're going to
spatchcocked
throw on the
chicken.
grill. Now, what I should mention, the secondary, like I said earlier, I'm also going to do burgers. That's going to be simple,
Straight
easy to
up
do,
patties,
straight up,
salt and pepper.
S&P
Yep.
all day long. Can't overdo it. But we're going to save that once the chicken's on the grill. Obviously, that's going to take a bit, so maybe I'll patty those once we got that chicken going. So now that we got the chicken ready to go, it sounds like all your stuff's ready to throw on that grill. I think it's time that we get our coals dumped into those grills.
Absolutely, yeah. And we're both going to build an indirect fire.
And I think I have a feeling, based on the way this has gone so far, we're probably going to do it differently.
Probably do it differently, but there's really no wrong way. The goal with building
Well, I'll prove you wrong there.
the goal of building an indirect fire is that you have zones on your grill.
Yep.
That one is an area that's cooler. That when you put the dome on the grill, you can cook in more of an oven style fashion. But then you still have those cold areas, and you'll see that, well, like what I do with my tenderloin, I'm still going to use that direct heat to sear the tenderloin. But then we'll do the primary cooking in that indirect zone. And so what indirect cooking allows you to do is to have different zones. If you have a flare up, you can move that meat off the direct area into the cooler zone. It gives you a little bit of a safe area on your grill that you can work with, and not everything is as hot as can be the whole time.
We all like to have safe spaces.
We all like to have
right?
safe spaces, safe
Yeah.
words, all those things.
Safe word. Typically what I do, indirect to your point, we're gonna go all on one side, okay? Oh yeah, oh mama, oh yeah. Make sure you got all that heated golden goodness of nuggets out of there. Put that somewhere safely off to the side. And then we're just gonna mound that. We're gonna mound that on one side. Now the other thing I did, we're not only doing charcoal.
Oh, did you got
Oh,
chips?
yeah.
You've been soaking chips. Look at you. Are those hickory?
Folks, I'm
or
smoking
apple,
chips.
Or what do
We
you
got hickory. We got
Hickory?
chunks of hickory. Now
All
what
right.
we're gonna do, so you don't have to keep feeding it, I got some water-soaked larger chunks. I'm just gonna throw that right on top of that charcoal.
Nice.
I've also got some chips that will heat up.
So I know I do it just a little bit differently. So what I do with mine is I put a hot zone on one end. And again, in the last episode, we talked about internet cowboys. There's going to be internet cowboys
This one's gonna be better than the last.
that
as far as
agree and disagree with how we've done this. But I like to build a hot zone on each side, and I leave that middle area open as a runway where the meat cooks. And like you'll see with the tenderloin, I'm going to sear it on the hot and then move it to the indirect in the middle.
Oh.
And that's just the way.
So
that,
multiple placements throughout
Right.
the process. All
and
right.
that's just the way that I was brought up doing it. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. People do it that way. People do it this way, and it's going to turn out perfect no matter what. All right, so I'm going to throw mine on. We've talked about the differences in direct and indirect styles that we have, and so I'll show folks here while the camera's trained on mine. And again, here we'll wash hands here in just a moment. But I'm going to start with the chicken legs. And very simple. These stay indirect the whole time. If you have people that there's some people that really like a good crispy chicken leg, I will throw these on the direct side of the heat towards the end of the cook, just to give some of it that nice burnt feel. If you've got people in your dinner party that enjoy that, as you should. I'm not. I don't like a burnt piece of chicken.
Even a drum, really.
But there's some people that do. And so I will finish a couple of these off that way. So you see I've got half of the grill here dedicated to the chicken. So what's different than with the tenderloin is I am going to put that on direct heat to start. And we'll jump to Nathaniel here in a second. But I do it at about a minute on each side with a tenderloin to sear it. You want to sear in the moisture so that you don't lose a lot of that good moisture throughout the cook. So what I'll do here is I'll sear it for a minute on each side, and then I'll move it to the indirect heat, and then we'll cover up the grill and we'll let things cook here for a little bit. What are you doing on your end?
So while Bill was over there busy playing with his meat or doing whatever he was doing on the grill, I took the liberty of
playing with my meat. Yeah.
Well, putting some vegetable oil, some salt, wrapping up some baked potatoes, threw it right on that charcoal. So that's gonna be one of my sides for mine. What are you doing now?
Simple.
Besides just murdering that onion.
I am murdering that onion. I am good at a few things in my life. Cutting and chopping onions is not one of them. And it's one of my favorite ingredients to work with. And so what I'm doing here is a very basic grilled vegetable. I'm gonna do, you'll see onion, you will see red and yellow peppers, and you will see mushrooms. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to marinate them very basically in a Italian salad dressing. What do you got going on while I'm chopping my peppers?
So doing a Chinese noodle salad. Now this is super, super easy. Even a gentleman like myself can do it. A lot of just store-bought, pre-made things. The only thing I had to do here was I had to just chop some onions. I don't know if I chopped them fine enough or not, but that's okay. We're learning as we go here, folks.
Well,
two packages.
You may be.
Well, 2 packages of ramen. What we're gonna do? Just beat the living piss out of them. Okay? This is
what
gonna be
did that
good.
ramen ever do to you?
This is gonna be good. And now this is where it comes together. Just open that. Hopefully there's a seasoning packet in there. Oh, there it is. We're gonna use this.
I was never a ramen guy. I think everyone goes through a ramen phase. My daughters are ramen fiends. I never had that ramen phase.
Well, here's the difference. Here's the difference is cups of ramen, the instant ramen versus like this. This stuff, oh, this shit was my jam. Nope, there's the other one. And but the cup that you put in the microwave, no, I gotta boil the water and do the slow process ramen.
Yeah.
That I was into. The cup of ramen, not so much.
All right.
So then what we're gonna do, we got some roasted unsalted. Now that's important, sunflower kernels, and you're gonna want, well, let's say about that much. And then we're gonna go. We got some almonds, okay? And again, this is scientific.
I
so
see what you're doing. You got a variety of different textures and flavors in there.
Your favorite. You're gonna want about yay much, okay? Oh, what the heck? Why not? A little more. And this is it's just about dumping ingredients at a bowl at this point. We have 3-color deli coleslaw.
Ooh.
Again, pick it up from your local grocery store.
You don't want that 2-color deli coleslaw.
Yeah.
You want the 3-color.
That's when you know you're gonna muck it up.
If you got 2-color.
If you got 2-color, you did it wrong. Go home now. Okay, we dumped that in. Now, you might be wondering, okay, well, this is just a bunch of dry ingredients, some uncooked ramen. What are you doing? Throw some of this in here. Oh, yeah. And we washed this table before I was cutting on it, right, Bill?
We did.
All right,
We
see?
did.
Life is good, folks. Don't worry. Don't drop those negative comments in on us.
No,
we don't
drop
need
them.
that.
We
don't
feed
need that.
off the negative.
Oh, we do. We do. Okay, so I mentioned all the dry ingredients, but what I did pre-make, we have vegetable oil, we have apple vinegar, and sugar. Okay, as you see, it settled a bit, so we're gonna hopefully this doesn't fly all over. I'm gonna shake that back up.
While you're doing that, I'm taking
I'm like a
my
mixologist.
store-bought Italian salad dressing, and I'm just putting it on those veggies.
Okay.
Right there. You
Is
do
that going on the grill?
I'll show you a fancy trick here in a little bit.
I'm not sure if
we
I
got to
should.
focus on the meat first, but yes, these will go on the grill.
Throw more dry ingredients on here, because the ramen flavoring is actually going right into this bad boy. Okay, so both packets from both.
Ramen, not just for college.
It's got to go in the dressing, though, I believe. I put one. So what I usually like to do is I put one packet into the dry portion, then I put one packet right into the dressing. And
What you usually do.
yeah, that's. And this is good. I mean, everyone's going to enjoy this. Maybe what I'll even try to do here is take a little bit of that, put it right in the dressing.
Well, he's been doing that. I just soaked the hell out of these onions, these peppers, and these mushrooms with Italian salad dressing. And again, not everything has to be
I
complicated.
even put a note to put the packet in.
Show the camera. You got a Post-it note. He's got a Post-it note on his
Turns out I can't
ingredients.
read. I told myself to put the packets in the dressing, and I failed to do that. Oh, and I think we're flying. Yep. Oil's flying. It's fine.
I think you got some on me.
It's fine. This is fine.
This is fine. I'm going to go wash my hands while you do that.
Okay. And we're just going to lather it all in there. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Now, I believe I brought some tongs. Okay. Now we're going to stir this up. This is where the flavor really comes through. And normally, now this is a preference base, but with this salad, with that, again, you talk about textures, that dry ramen. I usually like to let this salad sit for maybe 6 hours or so before actually serving.
You just put it in the fridge?
Well, you would set it in the fridge. Some people like to make this and ready to serve, and you get more of that crunch out of that ramen.
Sure.
Versus letting that ramen actually saturate.
So I talked earlier about the tong game. I've flipped everything at least once. There's no raw meat anywhere, so this tongs is now done. And I go to tongs number 2. And this is the tongs I work with now throughout the rest of the cook.
And now as we get our sides ready and prepped and we got nothing left to do, Bill, what do you usually like to enjoy? Is there anything you like to... Well,
I drink beer.
As do I. Pistachios for me. And you can have some.
I'm not a pistachio guy.
Are you a nut guy at all?
Not at all. Not at all.
I knew I didn't trust you.
If you're eating at my house, we'll have a number of hors d'oeuvres out. I'm just going to bring one out here, and this is, I'm all about flavor combinations, and you'll see that with the food that I got going on here. But we've got a beer cheese dip,
Okay.
which is phenomenal. And then you have a buffalo flavored pretzel crisp. And these things are life-changing since I found them. There's a reason that we look the way we do. It's not because we eat low calorie. And so while everything's cooking, I'm drinking a beer, my side is prepped. I'm going to enjoy a little bit of an hors d'oeuvre here with
yours looks better than mine.
With a buffalo pretzel crisp.
Oh,
and
that's like, I thought it was going to be
beer
harder.
cheese dip.
Cheers. Oh yeah, yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. The other thing I still have to do is, as I mentioned earlier in the show, I got to cook some burgers yet. So we got a nice block of some local Wisconsin Colby cheese, so we're just going to cut up some of that. Well, Bill enjoys his buffalo dip. Okay.
A few moments later.
All right, so we checked temperature and everything, and the tenderloin is at about 125. We're going to pull that out now, let it rest. And when you let a cut of beef like that rest, it'll typically gain another 5 to 10 degrees. So that should give us in that medium range of a cut. And then the chicken, you always want to cook that to 160. Is he gyrating?
I am
You
a
were
little bit.
gyrating.
I'm dancing. We're having fun
Distracting
here.
me with the gyration.
Hey, it's a Saturday. We can have fun. We don't
So
have to be serious.
we're gonna pull the beef and the chicken off, and then I'm gonna show you a little bit about what we're doing with the side dish here. So.
And meanwhile, mine should be coming up to temp here pretty quick. So we'll let Bill here do his dog and pony show on what he's going to wow the audience with here.
There-
And that doesn't look half bad.
There we've got a tenderloin.
I was doubting the Dijon.
And here well, you haven't tasted it yet.
Well,
We're going to take the chicken. And hey, can you pull some Reynolds wrap there and help me tent this?
oh, I would love to.
Thank you, sir.
And you want to tent it all, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, tent that whole cutting board, and we'll get back to the tasting session here in a second. With beef, you want to let it sit for just a minute or two because the juices will pull back into the cut of meat, and the temperature will still rise about 5 degrees yet. And when you end up cutting into it, it'll be delightful. But what I'm going to show you now is what I do with, and I'm going to borrow that glove from you.
I have two.
I'm going
You
to take
borrow
one of
two?
them. What we do with these vegetables now, and the traditional way to typically do vegetables like this would be to shish kebab them, but you waste all that time putting them on the shish kebab, and then what do? You take a fork and you pull them off the shish kebab.
You're not using it anyway.
No, this is one of the best gifts I've ever been given. I'm going to switch this to a direct fire, and you put your vegetables in this, and you get the same grilling effect on these vegetables on a direct fire as you do if you had shish kebabbed them without all the putting them on skewers,
Yeah.
pulling them off
Yeah.
skewers.
Yeah.
And it's the perfect side dish, particularly with the beef dish, to complement it for your Father's Day dinner. What do you got going on over there while I'm doing this?
Well, we are probably getting pretty darn close to getting that. I guess we'll call it a semi-smoked chicken. Oh, goodness. Semi-smoked chicken. Because again, I put that charcoal chunks, or the hickory chunks in there with the charcoal. And that bird is looking pretty good. Of course, poultry. If you're like most people, you like it cooked properly, which is at a 165. And we are getting to get pretty darn
Because
close
if you
here.
don't, you're going to end up in the hospital.
Well, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But what I am going to do is, while Bill was doing his mischief, I patted my burgers, salted, fresh cracked pep. Yeah, we got just a bit of time on there, so that's okay. Because I'm going to throw my burgers right on.
And you heard
Right on with it.
you heard me describe this vegetable cut earlier. Very simply, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the marinated vegetables, and we're going to pour them right into this contraption. Again, we've got onions, we've got peppers, and we've got mushrooms. And we're going to take the grate here, put the grate back on, and then put this contraption with the vegetables on direct heat and just let that cook and put it back on. We're still letting the tenderloin and the chicken legs rest.
Just like that. Now, burgers. I think if you're a normal American like myself, you like that medium rare. That's what I'm going to typically cook my burgers at.
So this is what I struggle with, right? So
Oh,
you've got family members.
Here we go.
No,
It's
I'm a
story
medium
time.
rare guy. I'm a medium
all right,
rare guy.
all right, then I'll listen.
But you've
I'll
got
bite.
family members come over, and there's always that one guy.
The hockey puck guy.
There's always that one guy that goes, "Oh man, it's Fred." Oh,
Yeah, you're damn right it's Fred.
And he feels like you screwed him, you did him dirty.
Well.
He just doesn't know how to eat a burger the right way. So how do you? Are you testing individual burgers?
I don't even-
Do you make
it's
some
feeling.
well? Do you make some
No.
well?
Nope.
It's the old thumb test, right?
It's the old, there's the
It's-
door, if you don't like what I'm doing.
All right.
That's how I do it. You don't want to appease. You want to eat? Here's these pistachios.
There's no
are-
appeasement. There's no appeasement.
No, look at this. Look at this hot mess
Yeah.
that has been. You talk about at your house, you will cook burgers at different specified donenesses. Do you also do all cheese, or do you? will you
No,
leave-
because we're in Wisconsin, and Uncle Tim, I love you so much.
Uncle.
I
boy.
love Uncle Tim.
Everyone's got an Uncle Tim.
I
don't
love
they?
Uncle Tim so much. Uncle Tim, and again, we're from Wisconsin. He likes his burgers without cheese. It's a thing.
And you'll do it.
We talk about it. I will, because
Oh, that
he's a lovely man. One of my favorite humans in the whole world. But he eats his burgers without cheese. So yes, we appease.
You do.
We appease people that don't don't like
Just so I
cheese.
understand how the Elverman household does it.
I'm not happy about it.
Okay.
Don't read that as me being, I give him shit about it every time. But
Understood. All right, we're going to get this off of the open flame. I did have the burgers right over the top there. That's okay, because now we need time for that cheese to melt. Cook that bird.
so Nathaniel's about to take the burgers off. The chicken is just about done. I'm gonna start slicing my tenderloin. And we cut into it just a minute ago. We've got a nice medium rare look to that tenderloin.
Ooh.
And we're gonna slice these for folks against the grain. Chicken's done. We cooked that to just a hair over 160. We should be in good shape. But here with the tenderloin, we're gonna cut these into about 1-inch fillets. And then we'll be serving these up here momentarily.
Oh, that is looking delicious.
Yeah.
If I may say so myself. I'm just going to, speaking of, was this on your finished product?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to use this.
And I'm gonna start plating up some food.
I'm going to use this and tent my burgers while we
Tent
are
your
just
burgers.
finishing that chicken, of which the plan would be to pull apart, and we're actually going to toss it in a zesty peg leg porker hot barbecue sauce.
Peg leg porker, that's a great place in Louisville we've been to together, I believe, haven't we?
Actually, Nashville.
Nashville.
We
Peg leg
have
porkers.
been quite a few places in the South. Peg leg porker in the area of the Gulch of Nashville. For anyone watching that area, shout out. Amazing, amazing barbecue joint, and again, amazing sauce. We're going to toss it with that and serve it with some brioche buns on a sandwich.
So what I'm gonna do while you're doing that, and we will tent these plates so this meat doesn't die, but on each plate, we will put a 1-inch fillet of the tenderloin. We will put a chicken leg. So you see here, I'm putting a piece of chicken with each piece of the tenderloin.
Now, did you want to?
And this is cook's rights. This is in my family. The person that did the grilling will sit there and be the first person to kind of
I was
take
going to say, I get any perks of the job? Or how does this work? Okay. And now, can I taint your plates with my sides? It's nothing if not juicy.
So the beauty of that recipe, even if you're not a mustard person, if we turned you off, I'm gonna finish chewing because chewing while talking is impolite. If we turned you off with the mustard thing, the flavor of mustard does not overwhelm the meat. If there's a hint of mustard, most of the mustard cooks off, and it leaves just a nice, tangy, little bit of heat flavor to that cut of tenderloin.
Now, Bill, you know that, especially since you said you're a texture guy, you are trying this salad.
I will try the salad.
Thank you.
I know I worry a little bit about texture, but we'll roll with it.
And luckily, we do have a hungry live studio audience here with us
We
today.
do.
That's going to help us eat some of this.
We do.
Oh, yeah.
So we've plated up the chicken leg, we've plated up the tenderloin, and we've plated up the Chinese noodle. What do you call it?
Chinese noodle salad.
Chinese noodle salad. I'm gonna plate up vegetables now. And you talked about the importance of color on the plate. Your Chinese noodle salad has got a lot of great color. I'm gonna add even more color now with the red and yellow peppers that are part of this dish here. And I've been talking about the tongs game a lot today. This is the finished.
So no more pistachios.
No more pistachios. This is the finished cooked food tongs. And I probably sound like a crazy person. I've watched a lot of cooking shows over the years, and I've maybe never heard anyone talk about the importance of which tongs or which hands you're using as much as I have. But maybe that's a me thing. So we've got the color of the peppers, we've got mushroom, we've got onions.
We are up to temperature, folks.
On the chicken?
On the chicken.
Rock and roll. Everything is coming together.
Flip that back
You need
over.
help,
now
or
I
are you
did put
good?
this. Now I did put this over the direct, right
Just
over
to
the,
give it a little.
just to char it right at
Give
the
it a
end
little
there.
char
And I think
there
I
at
like
the
what I
end.
did there. That was
Yeah.
the first time.
Nice.
As was this whole spatchcocking experience on a grill. Now I'm going to be wiser than I was last time and actually put 2 gloves on, as to not only save one of my hands but both.
So now you explained it before,
So-
but what are you going to do with that now?
So we're just going to pull this apart. We're gonna just I'm going to cut it limb for limb. And I got 2 forks here. I'm going to literally just shred it apart, and then we're going to retoss it back into the old peg leg porker,
Let's do it.
and we're going to put it on a sandwich. I think
We
that's
got room on these plates. These are starting to look like good Father's Day plates.
A few more moments later.
All right, so we got the chicken off of the grill.
Looks good.
We got it pulled.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna cook's honor here.
Cook's honor. Yep, that's again perks of the job. We call it perks of the job. Now we're putting this on brioche buns, which hats off to
Cooked.
the inventor of the brioche.
The brioche
bun.
is great. The chicken is cooked well, but it still has moisture. Well done on the spatchcocking. You did the spatchcocking well. While he's doing that, you see we've got the other initial plates plated up here with the tenderloin, the chicken, the Chinese noodle salad, and the grilled vegetables. And you are adding that peg leg pork
That's
or
right.
barbecue sauce to the chicken.
This is what's going to tie it together. And again, with my hands washed, we're just going to toss that.
And you're just gonna make a sandwich out of that bastard, aren't
That's
you?
right. That's right. We're keeping it fast and loose here. Just like so. Some people like skin. Again, this is the beauty of a pulled chicken is you don't know which part you're gonna get.
I think most people like skin. I think for various health reasons and whatnot, some people don't. But if the skin is typically cooked to a crispy, or it's delicious. Skin is absolutely delicious.
Yep.
So as long as you cook it right, I don't know many people that don't like a good skin with their chicken.
And you can't skimp. You can't skimp here on the meat.
I might
And-
cut to the front of the line here though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
here,
Please
let
do.
me- Let me
Please
try
do.
this. It's sitting here.
I don't have a reveal per se,
There's
but
a brioche bun. There's
but-
some chicken. And,
I mean, should we cheers it?
we can cheers it.
Let's cheers it because
Then you still got burgers to plate
well,
too.
that's
yet,
fine.
but yeah. How are you gonna plate up those burgers?
So that's going to be, again, we're going to keep it real American. I cut up some sweet yellow onion before,
The onion's critical.
so we're throwing that down, okay? And again, we're not getting fancy with any, a lot of people like to make their own homemade sauces and things like that. Well, we're going to skip all that. So we've had these burgers tented. And if I could find, oh, here's my spatula. Again, a nice medium rare is the way I cook them in my house. So we're going to plate that there. And then it's as simple as wherever you put, the ketchup. And now again, sometimes the plating of a burger, you don't even plate the burger because now this is where this is a wild card for what people's preferences, and I think you almost leave it. But we'll do a little mustard in there.
I've just about housed that chicken sandwich. I'm gonna try your burger now.
Try the burger. I'm gonna just plate myself. I knew I was gonna want some noodle salad, so why wouldn't I? Now, to be fair, that beef, now everyone also a lot of preferences on where beef comes from. I actually buy a half cow every year and a half from just a local farmer. So that's where that ground beef is
Try
coming
that
from.
chicken.
Now, this is the point of the episode where we're not concerned about what's on my face. You don't. I was
It's
expecting.
weird, right?
I was expecting the. This shouldn't work.
Right.
It absolutely.
But it's pretty amazing. And it has the best look about just any barbecue chicken.
Absolutely.
So chicken is amazing. The tenderloin's amazing. The burger I'm eating here, very well cooked burger. The
Thank
sides are very good. We've never done a cooking show before, so this edit's going to come together maybe a little different, but we'll put explanations of the recipes of everything we talked about in the description of the video on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, that's where you'll find the descriptions of the recipes. And most importantly, have a wonderful Father's Day. Cook something for your dad. If you're not the type of person that typically cooks something for your dad, we've given you some stepping stones, some building blocks here to do that and make it the best Father's Day ever.
But stay adventurous.
Yeah,
Keep it fun.
keep it fun.
It's okay. It's okay if it's not perfect.
No, and most importantly, whether you're a dad, whether you're an uncle, whether you're a grandfather, whether you're a mentor, whether you're a brother, happy Father's Day. And we'll see you on the next episode of Hard Hats, Hard Heads, Hard Times.